Well, hello there. My name is Beth Gapp, and I am the systems manager, technology trainer, and robotics instructor here at the Peabody Public Library. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of our computer help hints and tips today. I don't see anybody that is in here. However, if people start coming in, I'll start letting you in, but I do record these, so this will be on our channel, so you'll be able to still have the option to watch this. So I am going to, today we are going to talk about buying a computer and what kind of help and tips we can get. Let me get my list, just because I want to be able to tell you about future ones. So today I'm going to share my screen. I keep trying to get rid of this. Earlier, I was able to get rid of it. All right, so that's okay. I've got it right here. So this is a website that we're going to be looking at for the next few months that has a lot of different kinds of hints, tips, tricks that involve computers. So I thought that we would start out by talking about computer buying help and tips that you can have when you're doing that. If you would like to follow along, this is Computer Hope, and I can put that in our chat. I'm not sure if it'll show up, but if we get people that come in, then they would be able to see that. So I'm going to minimize. I am still trying to figure out how I get rid of this little thing. You can't see it up here, but I can, and just kind of makes me crazy. Oh, there we go. I got rid of it. All right. So we're going to talk about computer buying help and tips today. So here are some buying a computer questions and answers that might help you if you are looking into buying a different kind of computer. So let's just go to that section. So what type of computer should I buy? There are a lot of different computers out there, so trying to decide on which one you want to buy is going to be kind of overwhelming at times. But if you just take a few minutes to answer some few questions here, that might help you be able to narrow down some of those options. So how do you plan on using the computer? What are you going to do with it? What is your ultimate goal or the long-term goal of having a computer? Here is a check the following check boxes if this is something that you plan on using your computer for. Email. Do you have an email? Do you need to create an email? What about internet browsing, which is surfing, looking online for different kinds of items? Do you plan on just using internet with it? Perhaps maybe you want to watch videos. Maybe you have streamed services out there that you would like to have on the computer on the go, so you'd be able to watch those. And by stream services, I'm talking Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. Like there's so many. Even the library has some. We have Hoopla and Canopy, and I believe there might be another type of stream. I think Comics Plus maybe, but we have several different platforms as well. So perhaps maybe you want to use your computer to watch videos. Basic gaming. Maybe you're a gamer. Perhaps by basic gaming, that means solitaire. Um, Entering some of those Yahoo groups that have a gaming group, so you can just play games using Yahoo or even Google, Facebook games. Maybe you are more of an advanced gamer. Maybe you want to actually have a computer that'll have a bunch of special graphics and cards in there to get you going. Um, Maybe you are into photos. Perhaps maybe you take pictures on the weekends as a thing, or maybe you just like taking pictures. But maybe you want to use your computer for photo editing. Maybe you want to make it a little bit more personable for yourself. Video editing would be a part of that as well. Maybe you have some videos that you want to splice up and edit and get in different places. Maybe there's some programming that you want to try, some software, different kinds of programs out there that you want to try. So a computer would be excellent for that. 3D modeling. So maybe you've got some design ideas that you would like to put out there. Your homework, office applications. So I don't know what next does. Oh, okay. Let me go back. Here we go. So here is just a basic checkbox information thing that you can use to try to get an idea of what it is exactly that you want to be able to do with the computer. So these are very basic things. And you would just kind of go through here and check the ones that would work best for you. And you can do that from the link that I've shared. And I'll also share this on our channel. So you will have that there. So question number 2, what computer are you experienced with the most? So maybe you like Apple products. Maybe you have experience with an iPhone, an iPad, which would then be able to carry over to a Mac. So anything that you have Apple related, all those devices work together. So if you're logged in, you can sync across all of them. Maybe you just want a regular PC that has Windows on it. Um, that would be a Microsoft product. And that again would give you access to Microsoft products all the way around. Maybe you want a Linux type of program. There's also Chrome, or maybe you just don't care and it doesn't really matter. So none of these would matter. It's just, I need a computer and I need to get on the internet and I need to do what I need to do. But if you do have some familiarity with other things, like if you have an Android phone, then a Chromebook may be better for you because Android is Google. So therefore, if you have a Gmail account or you've already got a phone set up through Android, it would be able to sync with other Google products, just like Apple does. And I believe Microsoft has that option as well, because Microsoft has their own phones out there. So maybe going with one that you're a little bit more experienced with, maybe you use other products that might work for. Oh, I'm just going to hit none of these. There we go. So this says smartphones are an essential part of most people's lives today and may also help decide what type of computer to purchase. For example, all smartphones can connect and share files between the smartphone and the computer. However, Apple iPhones have a much easier time interacting with an Apple computer and are required to view iMessages on a computer. So the Mac, like I was saying, would go with all those products. So what type of smartphone are you using? I'm going to mark Apple because that's what I use. But if maybe yours is an Android. If you need to take a computer with you, mobility is another important purchase consideration. However, make sure it's something you really need. Mobile devices, laptops, can cost a lot more than a desktop and cannot be upgraded like a desktop. So the cost is more to repair. So do you want your computer to be on the go? Do you want to be able to take it with you somewhere? Maybe you're a traveler and you want to be able to have all your stream services right there on your computer. So therefore you would want a laptop. I would want my computer to be mobile. Excuse me. Having a device that supports touchscreen can be important to some users. With a touchscreen computer, you can navigate without using a mouse or a keyboard. What many users don't realize is that not all computers today support a touchscreen. I will tell you that I have a touchscreen in my office. When we got certain computers in the building, we opted to have touchscreen on ours. And another downfall that they don't talk about on here is that, oh, I am so sorry, that you forget that it's touchscreen. So you go to show somebody something and you're like, oh. And the next thing you know, what you were trying to show them is gone because you clicked on something because it's touchscreen. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about purchasing or buying a computer. I'm going to go with no, just because I've been experiencing it and I'm not real excited about the touchscreening. But because you use touchscreen on your smartphone, perhaps on a tablet, maybe a touchscreen is for you, and that's the way to go. Do you need a keyboard? If you only need to type occasionally, a keyboard may not be necessary because a lot of these devices come with on-screen keyboards. Now, if you decide you wanted to get a touch-screen computer, then you could get an on-screen keyboard to do that, or you could use voice. So you could come up to, and I don't know, this doesn't have it. Let me go up here real quick. Okay, here we go. Peabody Public Library. Oh, it wants me. There we go. Peabody Public Library. So that would be voice activated. So now I'm able to get on the library's website, but I have this voice activation and I'm using Google to do that. So, oh shoot. There we go. Oh, I lost my background. Well, it's not any fun. I am not going to waste time messing with that. All right. So, yeah, so you can use VoiceOver. You don't have to have a keyboard. Okay. It keeps giving me pop-ups. Okay, so do you need a keyboard? We're gonna say you do, because keyboards are just nice to have all the way around. You're able to sorry. Okay. That way you can and you can even buy keyboards that are Bluetooth or wireless, so you don't even have to have it attached to your item. Now, if you would go with a laptop, those come with keyboards. No, we don't want to build a computer. There we go. So the price range of computers can be anywhere from $100 to several thousand. So it just depends on the specifications of the computer. Getting a better understanding of how much you can spend gives kind of gives them an idea of what you may be looking for. So let's go with a middle range. If you're uncertain, leave the selections as they are. So how much money? So memory, which is also known as RAM, is always the smaller number when compared to disk space, and is what helps your computer run multiple programs at the same time. So memory is also always listed as a number followed by gigabyte. The larger the number, the better, but you're also going to be having more expense with that. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go with a 16 gig. How much storage do I want? That's going to have where all my files are going to go, my pictures, my videos, my music, maybe movies I've downloaded, anything like that is going to be where my storage is. I'm going to go with the 256. A Chromebook is a light laptop that runs the Google Chrome OS. You do have to have internet for that. Apple offers several different iPad options, where to buy, screen sizes, battery life, your ports. Let me go through this a little bit slower. They would recommend an Apple iPad or a Chromebook to me, which it does not giving me a picture of. So let me look up a Chromebook. And this just kind of gives you an idea. Now, Chromebooks don't typically, let me get Chromebook ports. Ports are going to be those little squares and such that are on the sides that allow you to plug things in. They've really changed the way that laptops are nowadays, as far as pretty much everything on a laptop is wirelessly based. So you don't have to have an Ethernet cord. That's what one of these cords is. You don't have to have that plugged in. You can just do it all wirelessly. But this just kind of shows you some of those ports that are available right now that come with the computer standard. Memory card slot would allow you to have more memory entered into it. A SIM card slot would be if you had some type of service provider, then you could plug in your SIM card for that. So where can you buy these? You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them on eBay. You can get them on Walmart.com. You can actually even go to Walmart store. Let's look at Walmart's options when it comes to Chromebooks. And again, it's going to depend on what size of screen you want, of how much. 14-inch screens are really not all that big. So you may want to go with a 17.3. This one actually looks pretty decent. Looks like it only has 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of memory, which if you're not saving a lot of stuff, says it's spill resistant. If you aren't saving a lot of stuff on here, then you wouldn't need a whole lot of internal memory. I was going to see what our ports were. So we have USB, USB-C, which is over here. Looks like it has a micro and a head jack. And it gives you a little bit more information about that particular Chromebook. So we could even go down here into one that may, okay, here's one with the 15.6. It's a little bit smaller of a screen with the same memory capacity. The more memory, the more it's going to cost you. If you're not worried about a big screen, you could go with something. This is only an 11.6. It's not very big. And the memory on it isn't very big either. I'd recommend at least a 64 gig going in. Anything more than that is bonus, and that would be excellent. And I can even put that in my search. Chromebooks, 256. Oops. Right. Let's see what it pulls up. Yeah. So now we're getting into that $500 range. Getting 8 gigs of RAM. So it really just depends on how much money you want to spend. Now we can shop for Chromebooks on Amazon. These don't have keyboards, but you could get a wireless keyboard. Looks like this may have a keyboard, but it's a bendable thing. Yeah, so you could bend it back and actually use your keyboard as a stand. That's pretty cool. It's a small screen though. That's only an 11-inch screen. So you just want to look. Here is a 32 gig memory. That's not a whole lot. 64 gig memory. So you get the idea, and you can search a lot of these different places. You can even just go to Google and type in what you're looking for to get you where you want to be. I am going to check our class here and see if anybody has requested to join. All right, perfect. Okay. Other purchasing considerations. So after deciding on a type of computer, you can refine your selection even further. You can do it by buying new. A lot of people will sell them used or refurbished. Refurbished just means that they've just redone it. So there may have been a problem with it at one time, but they've completely redone the computer and now it's considered refurbished. So that's going to get you a cheaper price. And a lot of times with refurbished items, they will come with standard warranties with those too. You want to figure out what kind of screen size you want. All-in-ones, tablet, laptop, so the bigger the screen, the bigger the price as well. So just keep that in mind. You want something that, if you've gone mobile, you want to make sure you have something that has battery life on it that is going to exceed. So if you can't charge it for a while, you don't have to worry about the battery life. Your processor, that's how fast all of your speeds are going. So you want to check your processor. The larger the processor, the better. This talks about the buying tips for that. We talked a little bit about those ports and jacks, HDMIs, dongles. Dongles are those little things that come with your mice, the wireless mice that you can just plug into your USB port, and that communicates with your mouse. So those are those little dongles, and they make those for anything that's wireless that you need to have communicate with the computer. Weight. You don't want to carry around something that weighs a ton because that'll get heavy and awkward. So make sure that, it's a consistent size that's going to work for you. Card reader availability. So if you have a lot of those SD cards, which are storage devices that have a lot of pictures, information, files, what have you, you want to make sure the computer has a card reader on it that's going to accept those so you can still access them. You want to make sure that you have Wi-Fi. Believe it or not, there are some laptops out there that you can purchase that are not Wi-Fi at all. They require service, or your tablet requires service and it's not Wi-Fi. And then again, they make tablets that are Wi-Fi only and you can't have service on them. So you just want to make sure that you have a network and a connection so that way you can get onto the internet. If you don't have internet at home, you may check with your phone provider, your cell phone, and I can show you my cell phone. Your cell phone may very well have some kind of a hotspot on it that allows you to use internet that's through your phone service. So I'm going to show you. So this is my phone. No, it's because of that background. And I have a personal hotspot area that provides me my password. And then when I'm looking for it, it's just going to pull up whatever I've named my phone is what's going to show up on my list. And that's how I would connect. So you want to check your manufacturer. There are a lot of different products out there, just like smartphones. Smartphones, I can tell you I've got a 36-page list front and back of how many different kinds of Android devices there are out there. Apple, not so much. We kind of all know what's going on with Apple. They tell you all those releases. However, there is other companies out there that have their own as well. So Samsung would be one. You've got Acer, Asus. There's all kinds of them out there that are a little bit more generic than going straight to the sources, which might be a little bit cheaper on you. Check your warranty and see what kind of warranty. A lot of times when you purchase a computer, you can buy an extended warranty through, there's one out there called Square Trade. But there's a lot of different, okay, Allstate is what they're called now. There's a lot of different ones out there that you could use. But here, no. Go back. Protection. There we go. So you can get phone protection through them, all other plans. So you could see what a computer plan would cost you. So if you purchased a laptop, cost was, I think the ones we saw were probably more in this range. I can get a 2-year accident and not a 3. No deduct. Okay, so if I have a deductible, I'm paying $90 for 2 years. That is $45 a year for an extended warranty. With a $50 deductible, I can pay $120 for 3 years. If I don't want to have a deductible, then I can have that. So obviously, the cheaper the device, the cheaper the insurance would be. The more expensive the device, and we'll just kind of go in that route. It looks like it has a max. Let's see. Nope, it sure doesn't. Okay, the deductible gets higher. So, and this actually works for more than just devices. As you can see on here, I can do it for my smartphone. A single plan, one phone. Let's say I have 5 phones on my plan. So I'm getting phone protection for that. Covers accidents, protect any phone, old or new, continuous coverage. Then they've got a family plan. This covers up to 4 phones. So that might be worth it if you are an accident prone person to have, and this is a monthly fee. So it'd be $9 a month to have a protection plan. Or a warranty. Now, some of these, because they're new, will come with a 1-year parts and labor, but it's limited. So not everything's going to be covered if something happens. So having something externally in addition to that probably doesn't hurt. There are thousands of terms and jargons that are used to describe computers and their capabilities. So below is a list of additional terms you may encounter relating to your computer recommendations. You can also visit the computer dictionary that lists over 15,000 different ones. We won't go through all of these, but, and this is just an overview of the answers that I gave. So let me come back to here. Oh, that is not what I wanted at all. Help. All right, so that was questions and answers. Yeah, let me tips. There we go. Okay. So that was what type of computer should I buy? This has more. Here is Mac versus PC. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about what the differences are between the two of them, it goes into depth by security, price, operating systems, the softwares they use, the drivers, touch capability, repair costs, So they actually did this as a poll. And as far as security goes, Mac versus PC, it looks like Mac wins this category, while newer versions of Windows have made significant improvements in security. Most malware is created for PCs. Therefore, you're less likely to run into security issues using a Mac. Price-wise, PC wins the category over the Mac because the Macs are very expensive. Apple products are very expensive. Operating systems, there is a tie, and it just really depends on the user's preference. Windows is to put onto PCs by multiple manufacturers, most of which add some form of bloatware, but it is removable and doesn't mean Windows 10 is an inferior operating system. However, an Apple user has never had to deal with bloatware. What is bloatware? Pre-installed stuff on the computer. Mac users can utilize Boot Camp to run Windows. And they can also install Linux. So all the different kinds of softwares that are available. PC wins again. Overall, the availability of software and free programs, because there's Adobe, Office, Photoshop. You can get all these available for both, but PC looks like it may win a little bit more over that software. The ecosystem, Apple does, Mac does have a strong ecosystem because the products can easily interact with each other. And PC has a strong one also. However, because there's so many different manufacturers of these different devices, that Mac's going to win this 100%, because if you have one Apple device, they can all be spread across. But if you have a Samsung phone and a Acer laptop, and yeah, so they're not going to be able to sync all the way across. So your ecosystem is Mac for the win. The build quality. Macintosh computers are known for their exceptional quality across their entire line, including both laptops and desktops. Macs offer a very compact profile regarding a form factor. So PCs have always been highly customizable, from cases to internal components. As such, there are many different levels of build quality. Therefore, while you can get very high quality components for PC, you can also get those that are very poor quality. So they're saying Mac wins this category. While the quality of PC components can be high as Apple, they're comparing the overall quality. Customization and upgrades, PC will win this every time. Just because Apple products, you have to use Apple's products. So if you go to the App Store, you have to get all of the apps in there are Apple. You have to have everything Apple related in order for it to work properly. Where PC has built-in options, and because they do have a lot of different manufacturers that make these different devices, Android, PC type style, Microsoft. Therefore, you're going to have more customization as well as options and features that are available to you. Boot time. Traditionally, Macs were faster to boot up than PCs. However, with the release of Windows 10, which now we've got Windows 11, PC boot times have decreased dramatically. In some cases, Windows 10 performs faster than Mac OS. That being said, these differences are just comparing computers and similar hardware. The single biggest component in reducing boot time is the type of hard drive. So again, it has to do with that memory that you're buying for the computer and the RAM. So tie, this is a tie when you're comparing the Mac to the PC with the latest operating systems and similar hardware. However, PC can be built with faster or slower hardware that increases or decreases the boot time. So Mac has an advantage over because Apple is a sole manufacturer of their drivers and their hardware. And again, their drivers were going to go main all the way across all of your devices. PCs are built by many different manufacturers, so you could have numerous drivers for different things, which would require you to download plug and plays. You'll probably have to install separate hardwares for printers, things along those lines. So Mac definitely wins on the driver category. Gaming, over the years, computer game companies have shown increased support for Macs. However, Windows owns 90% of the market share, and as such, developers are far more likely to create games for that operating system. Additionally, because custom-built desktop PCs have more upgrade options, meaning you can add graphic cards, add more memory, get those up to speed for gaming, they can meet and exceed the demands of the games without needing to replace your computer. So PC is going to win this category all the way around. Support, Mac is going to win with that technical support to help you. Apple can offer you a lot of assistance that is not available for PCs because Apple designs and builds their computers. So if you need other kinds of, with the PC purchase, you may end up with a Dell or an HP or a Chromebook or an Acer, an Asus. Samsung makes them, Microsoft makes them. I mean, it's crazy how many are out there. So therefore, you have to find the right support for what the right problem is. And if find out if you've paid into that support, maybe you're still under a warranty. But Mac has one support straight across, and it's Apple. That's it. Would have several because they have several different manufacturers for Android products. He is going to win on repair costs. I can tell you that. Strives to make its Mac products line as sleek and compact as possible. So they're constantly changing their components, thus making the computers need to be repaired, thus making it more expensive. Desktop repairs on PCs, you can take to a repair shop, and a lot of them can fix it. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't take a Mac to a repair shop, but you'd probably be better off just calling Apple and having them take a look at your Mac. Touch compatibility. It says with desktop and laptops, not mobile, Mac offers no touch screen. So with that, PC would win. So, and the different versions that are available. Seller buying, server buying. Okay, we're not gonna. Okay, actually, let's talk about new versus used. We kind of briefly talked about new, used, and refurbished. Purchasing a new or used server, or we're not doing servers, I'm sorry. I thought they were talking about something else. Computer buy related questions. Should I upgrade or buy new? Memory upgrades can only help the performance. Video card upgrades, you're going to want to make sure that computer you have is compatible with the video card upgrade you want to do. They do have flat panel displays, LCD displays, hard drive updates. I mean, it's just endless. So here are some common questions regarding refurbished. How can I tell if a computer part is refurbished? Most of the time, they're going to tell you before you buy it. Retested, reworked. Disadvantages would be most computers are not covered under the same warranty. However, you will have a refurbished warranty instead. Missing parts, possible failures. So, I mean, you do take risks when you buy refurbished, but it is excessively, the prices are a lot cheaper. Bought a new computer, what should I do with my old one? You can use that computer for other things. You can set up a home network, a printer option, an alternate to give the kids and the relatives a computer to use. That way, when they're coming to your house, they're not using that new computer, especially if you're a grandparent. You could just set it up for the kids. Doesn't matter if they're going to destroy it because you're going to get rid of it anyways. Now, that being said, I would definitely check your parental controls. You don't want them just out there doing whatever they want to be doing. So check into your parental controls and make sure that you are doing it safely. May even want to review some internet safety with the kids before you're just letting them on there. You could sell it. You can donate it. There are actually several locations. I know here at the library, we do donate our computers. In the past, we have donated to major organizations, but now we've decided that we are going to donate within our own community. So we are giving back to our community. We currently have a learning facility that will be getting one and a school that will be getting one. What's great about that is that they're both in our service area. They are taxpayers to the library. So they've basically kind of paid for the computer already. So us donating it back to them is upgrading the current computers they have that they would not be able to afford otherwise. And it's getting it out of here. So we don't, and it's not going to a profitable location. It's actually going to be used and utilized. You can recycle your computer if you want, out with the old. You'd want a list of places to go for computer disposal. Some people just throw them in the trash, but quite honestly, there is a way to actually dispose of those correctly. So they do have hazardous materials in them and things along those lines. And you don't want fires to get started or components getting hot or what have you. So plus our landfills are already so full of stuff. You might just want to see if you can recycle it. Maybe somebody can rip out the guts and put all new guts in and have a very decent computer. We are not going to get into installing software or buying software or buying hardware at this time. I think I'm going to leave us on that note. We've gone through a lot of stuff that involves buying a computer. Okay, here's another good question. How often should I buy a new computer? Here is your checklist. The decision to purchase a new computer depends on many factors, ranging from the necessity to improve performance issues to additional functionality features. Most total cost of ownership studies conclude that users should replace their computers at least every 4 years. I always tell people 3, but if you can stretch it out that extra year, that's fantastic. Here at the library, we're on a 3-year rotation plan. Hence is why we're able to donate them a little faster to our community and organizations that are within local. 4 years will work. It's just you don't really want to go past 4 years because they're releasing new computers that have processors in them that are going super fast all the time. So wouldn't go past 4 years. Here is a checklist if you should buy a new computer. Is the computer 4 more years old? If you check yes on that, then you should probably be buying a new computer. Do you need, not want, better hardware? Maybe your computer doesn't have the memory card slot in it that you need, the capability. Maybe you don't have Bluetooth options on that. Maybe you need more slots for more RAM to run all of the programs that are on there. Does the computer seem to run slow for you? Now, I'm going to tell you and give you some advice. If you are searching the web and let me show you. Right now, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs up. Every plus I have here is a new tab that I can have. Every tab that's open is another program that's running, right? So if I fill this all up with 25 different tabs, my computer is going to run a little slower for me than it typically would. All right, just keep that in mind. So if you're one of those people that are afraid they're not going to be able to find it again if they don't have it at the top, you have this little star here, and this is actually a completely different class, but you do have this little star here that allows you to bookmark it, and I can click done. And now if I go into my bookmarks, it has saved it there for me. I don't have to have the tab up there, and I can just go grab it when I want to use it. Right clicking and hitting delete will remove that off of that list for me when I'm done. So if you're running slow, probably a good idea. Has the internet gradually started to load more slowly? Then you probably need a bigger signal and a wider signal that your computer can access. Is new software barely meeting or failing the minimum system requirements? If you're running on Vista or Windows XP, which are no longer supported, you definitely need to get a new computer. I'm going to say that all the way up through Windows 8. If you're still using Windows 8, you need to upgrade to Windows 10. Windows 11 is already out, which means the next version is just around the corner. And the farther back you get, the harder it is to get caught back up, especially if you don't do normal updating, which is another class as well. But if you're not doing those normal updates to keep the computer up, then you're going to have that issue. Do you want to upgrade to a more recent operating system? So it says here that if you checked 3 or more of these boxes, it's likely time to upgrade. So if all you checked was that your computer is over 4 years old, then maybe you don't need one. Maybe you just need to hang on to it until it stops working. There's no reason. I mean, if it's working, just because it's about 4 years old, doesn't mean you just got to get rid of it. But if you are if it's more than 4 or more years old and you're having other issues too, then it might be time to upgrade that computer. All right. This was on a site called Computer Hope. We're going to be using this site a lot for upcoming programming that we're going to be doing for our hints and tips on computers. Today was all about computer buying, whether it's laptop, PC. We even talked a little bit about smartphones, operating systems, your screen size. We went over a lot of stuff that involved purchasing a computer, Mac, PC, what have you. In the future, we're going to be talking about miscellaneous computer related items. I've got a top 10 list I want us to go over. Some keyboard shortcuts that can make our lives a lot easier. Some web browsing tips and some computer questions and answers that we may have that you may be thinking of that you don't want to ask, or perhaps something you haven't been thinking of that makes perfect sense when you hear it. So we're going to have a Q&A section, and that'll be later on after we cover some of these other items. Internet safety and some tips and tricks on that to help you get along with your computer. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching and being a part of this class. I'm going to stop sharing now. There we go. Oh, and it brought it back. So maybe it's there. I saw black screen. Maybe you saw this the whole time. So anywho, thanks so much for being a part of our class today. Again, my name is Beth Gaff. I'm the systems manager here at the Peabody Public Library. Without you, there'd be no reason to have these classes. So I really appreciate the time that you take to watch them. Any kind of helpful hint or tip that you may have, send them my way, and I might very well make a class out of that. So thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day and enjoy. I will see you in the next video.